The sun is a white blaze above the savanna, pressing down with merciless heat. The grass stretches in every direction, gold and brittle, rustling like whispers of death. From within this sea of stalks, a band of 30 Australopithecus afarensis emerges, low to the ground, moving as one body. Their steps are cautious, driven by instinct, but beneath their ribs hunger gnaws like a second predator. For days, they have lived on berries, roots, and scraps. Their stomachs are hollow, their limbs feel brittle. Infants whimper softly against their mothers' chests, sensing the urgency, sensing that life itself hangs on what the tribe can claim today. At the front, the leader halts. His body is thick with scars, one shoulder carved by an old leopard's claws, healed into rope of flesh. He crouches, nostrils flaring, eyes narrowing. The scent of blood hangs in the wind, hot, iron-rich, promising both danger and hope. Through the grass, the carcass is revealed. A wildebeest lies collapsed beneath the shade of an acacia, its flanks torn open, ribs gleaming wet in the sun. Around it sprawl lions, their bellies swollen from feasting. Some lounge in the dirt, tails flicking lazily, but their ears twitch at every sound. A lioness raises her head, golden eyes sweeping the horizon. The band hesitates. Fear pulses through them. The lions are death, and yet the lions guard life. The meat is salvation, but it is not theirs. The leader tilts his chin, a signal older than words. Mothers shift their infants higher. The strongest males grip stones, sharp flakes chipped from river rock, heavy cobbles for throwing. The band begins to spread, fanning into the grass, bodies low, eyes fixed on the lions. Then, with sudden force, they erupt. The air shatters with shrieks, guttural and piercing, echoing like the cries of 100 birds. Arms rise, stones hurled, sticks raised like spears. They surge toward the kill in a wave of sound and fury. The lions scatter, startled by the storm of noise. A few leap back, snarling, unwilling to give ground but unwilling to fight yet. The carcass lies open, steaming in the heat, a treasure that calls louder than fear. The band descends. Hands tear at flesh. Stone flakes bite through tendon, sawing crude but effective. Blood coats their fingers, slick and hot. They rip strips of meat, cramming it into mouths, chewing fast, swallowing before it can be taken. Children gnaw on bones, marrow sweet against their teeth. Mothers smear blood across their infants' lips, letting them taste survival. But predators do not yield for long. A lioness gathers herself, lips curled back over fangs, shoulders rippling with muscle. With a roar, she charges. Dust explodes beneath her paws. The tribe scatters in frenzy. One young male, ribs showing sharp beneath his skin, stands his ground. He hefts a stone larger than his head and hurls it with desperate force. It strikes the lioness square on the jaw. She reels, snarling, blood dripping from her lip. The tribe shrieks louder, emboldened, arms raised, bodies pressed together in defiance. The lions falter. Hunger and fury burn in their eyes, but the wall of screaming, stone-hurling bipeds holds. At last, the great cats retreat a step, then another, circling, their tails thrashing like whips. They are not beaten, only waiting. The leader does not waste the chance. With a sharp gesture, he rallies the tribe. They seize what meat they can carry, ribs torn free, sinew and fat wrapped in leaves. Some clutch bones heavy with marrow, precious fuel for starving bodies. Others carry dripping chunks in their bare hands, unwilling to leave a single mouthful behind. Together they retreat, backing toward the tall grass, always facing the lions, always shrieking. Only when the cover swallows them whole do they turn and run. Behind them, the lions reclaim what remains of the kill. Ahead lies the river, the promise of water, and a place to devour their prize. But the lions follow. Always. Silent shadows in the grass. The feast has been stolen, but the price has yet to be paid. The tall grass parts, swaying violently as the tribe flees. Breath rasps in their throats, feet pounding against baked earth, meat clutched in fists slick with blood. The wildebeest's flesh is heavy in their arms, but hunger is heavier. They run not only to feed, but to live. The river waits ahead. Its voice grows louder with each step, a deep rolling murmur promising water, safety, and a place to eat. At last, the trees break, revealing the wide brown ribbon of life cutting across the savanna. The band surges forward, collapsing in a rough half-circle at the bank. They drink first, greedy gulps, leaf cups filled and passed, children lifted high to sip from dripping palms. The water is cool, blessed relief against cracked lips. Mothers kneel, splashing their infants, washing the blood from small faces. For a moment, peace descends. Then they eat. The strongest squat over chunks of meat, tearing strips with their teeth, tossing scraps to the young. Children gnaw bones slick with marrow. Elders chew sinew, hands trembling. Their bellies fill, and for the first time in days, their eyes brighten. But the savanna never gives without taking. From the grass comes a low growl, so deep it trembles through the earth. The tribe freezes, blood still dripping from their hands. Yellow eyes gleam in the shadows. The lions have followed. A lioness bursts forth, body sleek and coiled with power. Dust flies as she lands among them, fangs bared. Panic ignites. Mothers scramble, clutching their children, scrambling up the roots of riverbank trees. Infants wail. The band shrieks and beats the air with sticks and stones, but the lioness does not yield. A young male, thin but desperate, lashes out with a branch, striking the predator's muzzle. She roars, recoiling for an instant. The leader charges, his stone tool raised, and slams it against her flank. Blood beads on her hide, but the blow is shallow, and the lioness whirls with fury. Her claws rake the air, narrowly missing his chest. Chaos consumes the riverbank. A child stumbles into the water, swept instantly by the current. A mother screams without words, plunging in after him. The river is no ally. Rains upstream have swollen it, and now it surges with terrifying strength. The water claws at her legs, dragging her down. Another female leaps, catching her by the wrist, pulling her back toward the bank. Together they heave, fighting the torrent until the child bursts up, coughing water, clinging to his mother's neck. Their shrieks of fear cut through the roar of the flood. The lioness crouches again, muscles rippling. But the river surges louder, tearing earth away beneath their feet. Mud collapses, trees groan, the ground itself betrays them. The lioness withdraws a step, tail lashing, unwilling to face both the tribe and the flood. She growls, backing into the grass, her golden eyes burning hatred. The tribe scrambles upward, climbing into the tangled roots of trees clinging to the riverbank. Children are lifted, passed hand to hand. Elders are pulled by sheer strength of will. They huddle together, soaked, shivering, clutching what scraps of meat they still hold. Below, the river rages, swallowing the last of their feast. The lions linger at the edge of the grass, pacing, waiting. But the water's fury is greater than their hunger tonight. At last, they melt into the distance, shadows dissolving into dusk. The tribe clings to the trees, drenched and trembling. The meat is gone. The feast has slipped from their grasp as swiftly as the child nearly did. Their bellies ache with hunger once more, their strength burned away in the struggle. Yet they still breathe. Their hearts still thunder. Infants still cling to mothers, alive. And in the ancient world, breath alone is proof of survival. Dawn breaks, but the world is wrong. The tribe stirs in their riverside refuge, bodies stiff, bellies hollow once more. Infants nuzzle their mothers for milk that barely comes. Elders cough, their breaths shallow in the morning chill. Hunger gnaws, and yet the silence feels heavier than the emptiness in their guts. Then the ground trembles. A distant rumble echoes through the savanna, not thunder, but something more primal. The leader lifts his head, nostrils flaring. His scarred shoulder tightens as he scans the horizon. The sky darkens, though the sun has risen. A low wall of smoke builds far away, spreading like an angry bruise. The air tastes of ash. Then a flicker, orange tongues dancing, devouring grass. Fire! The wind shifts, and suddenly the flames surge, racing across the plain faster than any predator. Dry stalks explode into light, crackling, snapping, a roar that swallows all other sound. Birds scream skyward in flocks. Antelope bolt in panicked herds. Even the lions vanish before the inferno. The tribe reacts as one. Mothers clutch their infants. The young scramble, wide-eyed, clutching sticks and stones useless against this enemy. The leader drives them uphill, toward rocky ground. Feet pound, lungs burn, as smoke chokes their throats. Sparks rain down, stinging their skin. At last they reach a ridge. There black mouths gape in the cliffside caves. With shrieks of fear and urgency, the tribe floods inside. The darkness swallows them. Behind, the fire consumes the savanna, flames licking higher than the trees. They huddle in the shadows, pressed chest to back, heat rolling in waves at the cave mouth. Infants wail, muffled quickly by trembling hands. The air grows thick, heavy, filled with the acrid breath of burning earth. Bats burst past them, fleeing deeper into the dark. Hours pass like heartbeats stretched to eternity. At last, the fire moves on, leaving behind a wasteland of smoke and ash. The tribe emerges cautiously. Their world has changed. Where once was golden grass, now only blackened stalks remain. The air is sharp with the stink of charred flesh. And there, scattered across the plain, lie the bodies of antelope, zebras, even smaller predators caught in the fire's sweep. Their hides are blackened, their bodies still. The tribe descends. Hunger drives them past fear. They approach the carcasses, and with tentative hands, they tear at flesh already cooked by flame. The taste is strange, smoky bitter, but soft enough for even children to chew. Marrow slides warm on their tongues. Their bellies fill for the first time in days. The fire has destroyed. Yet the fire has also given. But as the tribe feasts, shapes appear in the haze. Shadows move on the horizon, figures upright like themselves. Another band, lean and hungry, drawn by the same bitter gift. Two tribes. One scorched plain. And the savanna has no room for both. Ash drifts like snow over the blackened savanna. The air is thick, acrid, stinging eyes and lungs. The tribe crouches around their meager feast, hands slick with the fire's bitter bounty. But their chewing slows, heads lift, nostrils flare. Across the haze, shapes approach. Not lions. Not hyenas. These shadows move upright. Another band. The two groups freeze at the sight of each other, separated by charred earth and smoke. Faces smeared with ash, ribs sharp beneath skin, eyes bright with hunger. They are reflections of the same struggle. But hunger does not share. The rival band fans out, arms raised, gripping stones, charred branches hardened by fire. Their leader steps forward, chest scarred like the first, head lifted high in challenge. His band shrieks, the sound sharp and piercing, bouncing off the empty plain. The tribe answers in kind. Their leader strikes two stones together, sparks leaping like fire reborn. The crack echoes, a warning, a claim. Then the silence shatters. The rival band charges, feet pounding ash. Stones fly, whistling through smoke. One strikes a young male in the temple. He crumples, blood dark against his brow. Mothers scream without words, pulling children behind them. The clash is brutal, primal. Branches swing like clubs, smashing bone. Stones crash against skulls. Hands claw at faces, teeth sink into flesh. The air fills with shrieks, grunts, the tearing sounds of bodies locked in fury. A young female, clutching her infant, is pulled down by grasping hands. She thrashes, teeth sinking into the arm that holds her, tearing until the rival howls. She kicks, scrambles free, clutching her child tighter than life itself. Nearby, an elder collapses, ribs broken beneath a blow. For a heartbeat, the tribe falters. Then as one they rally, surrounding him, shrieking louder, striking harder. Their unity turns the tide. Each strike heavier, each stone more desperate, each gesture a vow not to leave their kin behind. The rival band falters. Bloodied, bruised, their leader snarling, they stagger back. Their shrieks weaken, their arms sag. One by one they retreat, swallowed by the smoke, limping into the blackened plain. Silence returns, broken only by the rasp of breath and the soft whimper of children. The tribe stands among the fallen, bodies streaked with blood and ash. 3 of their own lie still, eyes closed forever, their flesh cooling on the scorched ground. Others groan, wounded, lifted by trembling hands. The leader raises his scarred arm high. Slowly, the band gathers their wounded, lifting, carrying, refusing to abandon any. Infants are cradled. Elders are supported. Their dead remain behind, given back to the earth, but their living are carried forward. The war is not victory. It is survival, raw and terrible. Together, they stagger back to the cave, where smoke drifts and the earth still smolders. They have endured, but the cost is carved into their flesh, into the ground itself. In this world, survival is not given. It is taken, paid for in blood, again and again. Night falls heavy over the savanna. The world is quiet now, stripped bare by fire, emptied by battle. The air is thick with smoke and the distant cries of scavengers circling what remains of the day's dead. In the shelter of the cave, the tribe gathers. Their bodies are broken and bruised, their skins streaked with ash and blood. The wounded lie in the center, tended by trembling hands. Mothers press herbs into torn flesh, spitting chewed leaves into wounds to draw out the rot. Elders murmur soft clicks in their throats, gestures of comfort that are older than words. Around them, the living form a circle. Infants sleep against mothers' chests, their tiny hands still clutching at warmth. The young, exhausted, huddle together, eyes wide but unblinking, too drained even to whimper. The leader stands at the cave mouth, shoulders scarred and chest rising slow, his gaze fixed on the plain beyond. Out there, in the dark, lions pace. Their eyes glow like embers, flickering with hunger. Hyenas laugh faintly in the distance. Predators wait, but they do not approach. Tonight, the tribe has proven themselves too dangerous to strike. Inside, a quiet ritual begins. One by one, the survivors place scraps of meat into the center, what little they carried through fire, flood, and battle. It is not enough to fill every belly, but it is shared all the same. Mothers feed their young first, pressing shreds of flesh between tiny lips. Elders chew and pass morsels into children's mouths, keeping the weakest alive. Even the wounded are offered bites, carried hand to hand, gesture to gesture. When the meat is gone, only silence remains. Yet in that silence, something greater than food takes hold. The leader turns, stepping back into the circle. He kneels by the dead, 3 of their own, laid side by side on the stone floor, their bodies stilled by blood's price. His scarred hand brushes across their faces, closing their eyes. Then he lifts his arm, raising it high toward the firelight flickering at the cave mouth. The band responds. Mothers lift their infants into the air, tiny bodies silhouetted against the flames. Fathers raise their arms. The young mimic lifting stones, lifting sticks, lifting whatever their hands can hold. The gesture spreads like fire itself. Every living soul raised toward the night, as if offering themselves to the stars above. The flames outside crackle. Smoke rises in columns. Beyond the cave, predators watch with patient hunger. But inside there is no fear. Only unity. This day has taken much. Meat stolen, kin drowned, fire endured, blood spilled in battle. Yet it has left them something greater. Life. They have endured storm, flame, claw, and stone. They have held the river and the fire at bay. They have faced rivals and refused to yield. Their children breathe. Their elders still draw air. Their circle, though bloodied, still holds. And in this ancient world, that is triumph. The night stretches long, but the tribe does not break. In their circle, with infants raised high and firelight dancing on their faces, they carve a truth older than memory into the bones of time itself. Survival is the blood price. And tonight they have paid it. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more epic adventures.